Hello folks, thank you for joining me for another video. Headed to the top of the mountain right there. You can see some power stations or radio towers or whatnot. We're going just behind those. Been up there before. I did a short camp out there with my brothers. Anyway, we just got onto the dirt road. I just have to smile whenever I hit it into four-wheel drive. But anyway, took us an hour and 45 minutes to get here. And after driving only across the county, I can see my house from here. The only thing I have to say is, how are these people such bad drivers? Sorry for shouting at you. Whew, it's been a spicy day. We gotta go up in this canyon right up here, right there. Got my steak thawing out right there, so we're good. Everything's good. Life's good. Anybody lose their boat? No? All right, carry on. Alright, we are here, sitting up on top of my truck. I'm gonna tuck away into one of these little forests of what's this stuff is called. There's plenty of dead standing stuff to make a good fire. But yeah, that way Utah County, that way Eagle Mountain or Eagle Valley. We're on the top of Lake Mountain, so yeah, it's about 60 degrees. A lot bumpier, rough driving getting here than I thought it would be, but yeah, we're here. It is a bit chilly right now, so I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna throw a jacket on, something maybe, I don't know. But first things first, let's go find us a spot. Alright, off we go. I'm going to find us a good spot in here. Keeping my eyes out for rattlesnakes. This is Utah desert. That is a game trail. Speaking of which, about the only thing that I'm going to see here is going to be antelope. There's probably mule deer here. There's always trash pandas about. Let's see. Yeah, scat from a mule deer or an antelope. I'm not sure which. I can't tell the difference. Rabbits. This does look like antelope dropping. Probably trotting through here. So one of my rules is don't camp on a game trail. Always keep my eyes open for reptiles. Other critters to look at. As far as predators go, I would be surprised to see anything more than squirrels. to be frank, I don't think that we've got that much. As far as the bobcats, will have that out in here too. Little gray grassy hoppers like this one right here. Not sure what this is, but when they jump, they'll fly and they'll move quite a bit. But this doesn't look too bad up in here. Avoid the thistles. Something has been pushing around the sagebrush, but I'm not sure what kind of trees these are. Like, they don't get very tall. I mean, this is a desert. There's plenty of firewood, but a group of things did bed down here. Could have been a while ago, who knows? Maybe even last night. Again, I don't know. I could saw that one right here. This looks like the beginnings of a fire to me. More dead branches everywhere, a whole limb on the ground. Okay, this is high traffic for deer, but deer are not really a problem to me. They will avoid me, they'll avoid the smell of smoke, they'll avoid all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, something did bed down in here. A whole lot of somethings. Just listening. Don't hear nothing though. That's fine with me. Find 2 live trees that are strong enough to support a hammock. Easy breezy with a little bit of pruning. Getting stuff down for a fire that I could put right here. I could anchor myself from this limb here all the way to this limb there, going right here. Although this shrubbery is a little bit high, I might be touching. You just basically, to tell, you stand right between the 2 that you want to hang from, because it's going to go, so I'm going to end up right along here. You want to be, just roughly guesstimate exactly the middle between them, and that's where the lowest point of your hammock is going to be. So it's going to be right around here. If I go high enough, I shouldn't have any problems. As far as anchoring off my tarp, it looks like because of the debris around, it'll just be anchored down there, and there. So nothing really growing that I could tie off on, except for maybe this bush down here, and if I'm real desperate, this one down here. Or I could alternatively come in here and tie off to that and go to that. That would be a lot further spread, so I would tie off at the fork right there. That guy there. This is alive, so it will hold my weight. I will cut this down. Old can. People's garbage is everywhere. You will find it everywhere. Move this debris, probably burn this branch. And then again, tie off up here. This is also alive, so I wouldn't have to worry about it pulling. And that would get me pretty close to this guy. If I stand right between them, my lowest point though is going to be somewhere here. So that keeps me away from there. And then I can probably anchor my tarp to one of these little shrubses over there, and into this shrub business over here, and again over to that shrub business over there. There's nothing dead above me. Don't have to worry about that. Even if it did fall from that height, the worst it's going to do is startle me. This is kind of a little protected alcove. It is in the middle of a game trail though. Although, to be honest, if you know the creatures in your area, depending on what animals you have, you can break or bend that rule. Deer are not a problem. We're not in the rut any longer. Unless, if we are, I mean, this is the last week of September. It could be the very end of the rut, though they usually deer rut in August too. But I don't know antelope. They could be still doing their thing, and I don't know how aggressive antelope are. They're usually very skittish. If I got a fire and I'm talking to a camera, nothing's coming through here, so what do I need to worry about there? There are no predators that are going to be wandering through here. I might have the odd trash panda. I don't think there are porcupines here. There aren't any significant pine forests, and they generally stick to pine, so I don't need to worry about porcupine. There are mushrooms here. I don't know anything about mushrooms and flies. I don't know anything about mushrooms, so I don't know if this is an edible. Whew, that thing shot spores everywhere. That was interesting. Watch this. You see that? Can you see that? I'm going to have to get my main camera and show that. The slightest poke, that thing spored black powder everywhere. Anyway, so I think I think I've made up my mind. We're coming in this little tiny grove here. Oh yeah. I think it's a standard for all YouTubers to have airplanes in their shots. I think we're right underneath a big, huge through lane of air traffic. I don't know what you call that. What? And there's even little planes. Jeez. All right. Well, here's home. Let's nose itching. Let's set up camp and I don't know. Am I hungry? I'm not really hungry. Maybe I'll shoot my bow or something. Let's do it. Oh, that was a bad idea. Camping trip and got a bad day to go out and end up having to make a hastened
What you talking about?
exit, so didn't properly put away my hammock. Now I'm paying the price. Mucho tanglage. Alright folks, that was the best part of every hammock camper's adventures, climbing in the hammock. That one's not coming out. Also the most stressful if things break. We got some saggage, some really big saggage. Solution: tighten up the ridge line, or the thing, the side to side buckle deals. I'm gonna show you. Sorry if the sound's a bit off. Don't have my microphone on. I'm gonna grab this guy. We're gonna pull him up a few notches. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, momente. And now we try again and see if we sink down to our booty. It's a little tighter. All right. Had worse, had better. A bug net, absolutely must for summer camping, though mosquitoes should not be a problem right now, but I'm not gonna throw my boots in here. Just wanted to see how it is. Look up above me, not gonna shake anything loose. Yeah, will do. That'll do nicely. So, I don't know. I don't even know what time it is. Probably at 4:30. Seeing myself rocks makes me dizzy, kind of. So, gotta decide on a fire position. I don't want it too close to this, because I have to tie up a tarp due to tonight's unplanned for thunderstorms we're having. So, I think that I might trim the bushes over here, the trees, some of the dead hanging stuff, and start a fire there, but I gotta do a lot of terraforming, so to speak. So I might not do that. I might actually drag it further out into the open somewhere that way toward the vehicle, or behind me in that poop pasture. I swear I hear things scurrying about behind me every now and again. Anyway, so yeah, this is the bed for the night. Temperatures shouldn't get below 40 tonight, but the high for tomorrow is 54, so always plan in higher elevations for about 15 degrees colder than valley temperatures. So if the high in the valleys is 54, which I don't think it will, but I think it'll be more like 60, but after a thunderstorm you never know. Especially in Utah, where it's, you know, temperature one minute can be completely different than temperature the next. I don't think it's gonna get freezing up here. No, I don't think so, not at all. The aspens have started losing their leaves in quite a large amount, so I don't know, maybe we might get a little frost tomorrow. I wouldn't expect it though with thunderstorms. We're at about 7,200, 7,400 feet, something like that, so not really static, going crazy here. Not really high elevations. Well, for most folks it is, I guess. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hungry and tired, and anyway, and forgot my big SD card, so I'm running on a 63 gig card, 64 gig, so I'll probably run out of space if I continue to record as much as I've been doing. But that's life. I'll find a way to make it work out. Anyway, right now I'm really warm. Unbelievably warm. Short sleeves and everything. Anyway, I am gonna go ahead and I don't think I want to fire yet. I gotta put up a tarp. That has to happen. So maybe we'll fast forward to the end of that. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Come on, up you go. There we go. All right, you've seen me do this a dozen or so times, maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. Putting up a tarp, in this case just a cheap plastic sheet. I just get a small object, in this case a rock. Doesn't need to be anything spectacular. I place it on the underside of the tarp and I grab it through the top, reach over and twist. And that creates a tie-off point. And then from here I just take out the string, finagle out a little bit like so. You need a third hand, you always got your knees. Wrap the string around, and I always go around a couple times so then I can reach up like that and hold the string with my other hand too, and tie it off. And in this case I'm not using any specific knot, I'm just tying maybe a couple grannies. And don't be fooled by bushcrafty channels out there that say you gotta know a specific knot for everything. You don't, you really don't. That's gonna hold. I've never had one of these slip. And I've had them in quite windy weather. Now, what I'm going to do now, I just recently learned, is you can select an amount of string. In this case, it's just some nylon string. It's weighted up to about 100 pounds or 80 pounds or something like that. And that should be plenty. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut the string. I could reach back and grab my knife, or I could just step on it, grab it underhand like that, and cut it without a knife. As long as your foot doesn't slide, it slices real quick. Doesn't bother my hand at all. And what's nice about that is it leaves the end so that it does not fray. You see that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but anyway, that's not gonna fray even when I mess around with it. Then I can just put the string back in my pocket and not have to worry about the end fraying. And here's the other end, also not fraying. So there you go. I'll do it again here in just 1 second, but I'm gonna tie this off first, pulling everything tight and leaving myself somewhere to sleep in. And I'll probably also tie it off up here and pull it that way just to keep my ridge straight, but for now this works. I'm gonna go ahead and tie it to this branch. It's wedged between this fork here and looks pretty good to me. Overdid it on my rope, but that's all right. And I've decided that I'm not gonna have my fire down there. I'm putting it out somewhere else. I don't want the smoke all night, and I don't want to start a forest fire. So down low, just to help keep the wind out. And like I said, way too much string. But there we go. Pull it so that the other side gets tight as well. And see, I'm pulling on my camera stand, but I go around itself and then around again. Anyway, that's just a handy trick to tying down and a tarp with no tie outs. It's really quite simple and has never steered me wrong. So if you're thinking you can't go camping or whatnot because you're not the bushcrafty type, don't sweat it. I'm really not either. I know how to survive, and that's about it. I know how to have a good time. So there you be. Why am I talking to a branch? It always often feels like you're just talking to yourself. You have to vision yourself editing this stuff and then figure out what you're gonna do. You better go over. So there we go. Alright, let me show you this again. So you get your string, in this case just cheap nylon string. I think this was a couple dollars at Walmart. And decide how much do you want. I don't know, a foot, 10 feet. In this case we've got about 6 feet here. I'm going to let the other part go off to hang on the ground, and I'm going to step on it. So I've got some pressure. And I'm going to grab it backhand like this and just simply turn it in my hand so that I've got it wrapped around itself there. You see that? And then when I move my hand up and down, of course the one on this thing on the bottom's got to stay. So up and down, and then it snaps, and there you go. It melts the string, friction, so you don't end up with a string that frays real easily. There you go. How about them apples, huh? Anyway, that's how I did it. I don't do it a lot, but when I do it. You can easily just pull out your knife, but then, especially this string, it frays really easily. So there you go. Now you know everything. It looks a bit worse from there. I got a gallon of water here, so if anything does spread, it's going to be an easy either stomp it out or pour the water on it, right? Just scraping this dry dirt off the top so nothing spreads through burning the top, even so. Mambo! So I'll be standing here watching it, so I don't think that's going to happen. Boy. There you go. Let's go find some wood. Alright. First things I want to do is break off these lower branches. It's easier to do when you got the thing in the air. So I'm going to want these twig bits here. If you can even see me, which you kind of doubt. Maybe I'll just fling them over near the fire. I can do this once it's on the ground, but This is just as good. Tough wood. Once you get it down to about thumb size, start cutting. You don't need to cut everything all the way through, so it's always best to cut so that everything falls right into your armpits. Alright, or I can, if I had a chopping block, I can just, there's a log over there, but it's surrounded by pretty gnarly thistles. Nothing else I want to chop. This is just as good. This is a very dense wood. Doesn't smell anything. I did bring a bigger saw for this, but it's like 20 feet away, and I'm weary. Yeah, that is dense. Saw blade's polishing as it goes through. Look at that. Yeah, that'll burn for a week. It's my second guessing to cut this thing down. That's right above my head anyway. Love this silky. Yep, dead and dry twigs. I'm just chucking it everywhere. Alright, I'm gonna gather about 9 times this and we'll see in a bit. Who says you can't pull it with 2 hands? Yeah, that is some dense wood. I'm gonna take a chunk of this home and see if I can make a handle out of it. Trying to decide here. I need to baton some wood with this titanium knife. This is about the density of oak. If I can't baton this, it's not good for anything. So maybe I'll just try to take a bit of the sidewall off like that. But there's a knot here. There's none on the other side, so I'll do over here. So I'm just deciding how long to make this piece, because I do need to find a bigger piece and split it in half, because I've got a steak to eat, and I don't want to eat it on like a piece this small, nor a piece that's been laying on the ground. The steak is only, it's about this much wider than this thing, so I think the grains might be twisted in here. We'll find out, but I'm gonna try to baton it with this knife. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm lacking for a place to is anything pointing at me? I can't even tell. I'm lacking for a place to set stuff. I don't have a log to sit on or rest anything on, except for stuff that's on the ground. So I think it would be just as easy to try to baton against the tree itself, as it'll actually be easier than to do it on the ground. So I can drive the knife into this far enough that it'll split it down far enough that I can use the wood. So maybe that's actually exactly what I'm gonna do. Let me go get a club. You don't want to see my face in here, do you? So this looks small, but it's quite a bit more dense than it looks. This wood is it feels like a chunk of I don't know, It's metal almost. It's got some heft to it. So here's the knife, the old Camelus titanium blade. Now my argument is titanium made it softer. So on with the gloves and let's start beating on this, huh? I don't have high hopes for this. I did bring a backup, my buck knife. I thought I was only going to bring this knife, but I decided it'd be kind of foolish to just bring one knife when they don't weigh enough to argue with it. So if I roll and break this knife, then I'm out $10. This gets finished as the last part of that review, and don't buy it. But if it doesn't, this could be a contender. So what do you say? There are no knots on this side. So if I start here, start about right there trying to take a fifth of this off. Let's have it, let's see. Oh, split it pretty good. Look at how dark this wood is. That's something else. I like that. This has got beautiful grain too. It smells almost like leather, to be honest. It smells almost like leather. This piece right here might get saved to make a knife handle. That's such a beautiful grain. I could take this whole trunk right here. That would take forever to cut through, and I don't have the patience to do that by hand. Well, I do. It's just that. No, I don't. Never mind. Let's. You know what I'll do? Attempt to split another piece, and then if not, I'm going to take this section all the way down at the tree. I don't need. I could make a couple knife handles out of it, but let's. How about that? Just to give you an idea what the grain inside looks like. Just whittling this boy down, huh? I could have gone right down the middle. That is impressive. Let me have a look in this. Adjust my tripod foot here. But yeah, we got a chunk of the way through there. I don't know how this blade's faring, but that's pretty decent right there. But this grain has some intricacies to it. Now, one of the thing I need to mention right here is that I didn't bring any cheater fire starter methods. It's just me and twigs and dirt and leaves and rocks and whatever I can figure out how to use to make a fire tonight. The sky is growing darker and darker as far as cloudness goes, so it's best I start a move on. That'll be a good base to a fire pit, though. All right. It's chop worthy. This wood is not soft, though. Probably a real bad idea to cut towards one's face. Sorry about that. But it does chop. That's probably all I need to do with this knife. Honestly, I would never do that with most knives, so Have a look at the edge here. I don't know. Can't tell if I rolled it there or not. I mean, the blade's scuffed up, but it wouldn't be after getting pounded through a tree. Does she shave still? Doesn't feel like it. Actually, some parts of it do, very, very roughly. Can't leave shave razor burn here. So he did take a chunk of hair out right here. I bet the tip still does, but I didn't do anything with the tip. So far, so good. I'll have a look at it tomorrow when I get home and see once and for all what how well it did. The real test, though, is over time. How long how long can I go between sharpening? Anyway, let's get back to firewood stuff. All right, boys. I was gonna build a fire right in yeah, but I decided to say screw it and take the GoPro and go on a bit of a walkabout. Sorry, so close. I included a short clip of a frog that I found and some critters and whatnot. It's just a stone throw away from here, so I thought I'd go wander out there. It's just that way, and then on the other side of that hill right there. So just a quick walkabout. Stomach's not doing so well, so I'm on the lookout for some Seago lily and, if I can find it, dandelion, because apparently if you boil it up and drink the broth, it can help with stomach irritation. So got some water and we're heading out. Got the rinky-dink knife that I brought, the old Walmart special that I did a review on, or an unboxing on. This is the end of their half of that review, so we're gonna see how good it does. If we go cross country, be a better chance of finding what I want to brew up. I don't know. I think we're better off sticking to the road. That makes some really dusty travel. Sorry about all the camera noises. But anyway, we're gonna... Can't think. My stomach's on fire. Grasshoppers. I'm hearing a lot of buzzing and odd noises from that direction, so the way in here was extremely rough. So unless you've got a lift and a four-wheel drive pickup, I'm not getting in here, so I'm not too worried about someone making off with my gear. So let's I'll shoot my bow too. We've got, blind you with the sun here. It's not accurate because at arm's length my GoPro shows that my fingers are, we got from my standing back here about 2 hours of sunshine left. It's about 4:30, more like 5:30 now. So that is not what I'm looking for. Thought I was it. It's gonna be hard and almost impossible to spot. Actually, sage, I don't know. I'm not gonna try sage. I don't know enough about sage. I'm gonna go see if I can find a frog or something to highlight. But those clouds say you about to get poured on, boy. And we're not supposed to get rain until late, like midnight or later. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. I feel like walking. Let's walk. Decided I didn't need to set up fire just yet. It's still in the 60s slash high 50s, so decided to go on a bit of a walkabout, a walkabout. One thing I didn't notice before is that thing up there. Not sure what that is. I always gotta have a plane when I start recording. What is up with that? It's like the YouTuber's curse. But trudging up this hill and see somewhat of a monument. Never been up there. That's quite the dirt road leading up there. That guy right there. Not bad. You can just see my camp right there. Somewhere in there. Anyway, I'm gonna head up over this hill and see if we can find that frog pond. Some dudes on an ATVs down there. Totally not jealous. Anyway, let's get a move on. This is it. I had to walk up along here because this whole thing here up to right over there was underwater. It's a lot deeper than it looked. So, yeah. This is where that frog was. So I'm certain by now it's completely disappeared underground. They'll like wiggle themselves in the ground like that and disappear. But this is where I caught it. It was right up here. Somewhere here is where we recorded it. This was like a steady stream of water in here. So it's amazing. Completely seasonal. Things have been digging here. I would have been at least waist high in water. Stuff has been digging here looking for water, but unless it rains good and hard, I imagine this is bone dry in here. Could also be that predators dig looking for frogs that have burrowed. But anyway, the grasses here, they're on their way out. They're drying up pretty good. Yeah, there's no moisture in them. So there we go. This is the pond that you saw in the start of this video that had that frog in it. Maybe we'll wander up here tomorrow after it pours rain on us and see if there's anything accumulating in here. I kind of doubt it, but never hurts to walk over here. It was probably 2 clicks, 1 maybe, something like that. I don't know. Talk to you later. So I'm gonna head back. I'm getting worried about my stuff. So we're headed back. I've seen 9 hunters. They are dressed to the teeth, man. They've got their weapon, of course, but then they've got like jackets and coats and sweaters and hats and hoods and vests, and I've got short sleeves. Of course, they look at me like I'm a little crazy, and I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just, I'm not cold. I'm doing quite well. In fact, this feels great. I don't know what temperature. I guess I can look. I do have a fan, and I can pull out the old weather app. It's 6:18. Stand by while it updates. Nice thing about this YouTube video is I might stand here forever while it updates, but for you it'll be 2 seconds. More airplanes. The closest location it could pull was Lehigh. Had 55 degrees, and I'm good 1,000 feet higher in elevation than Lehigh and a little further west with a slight breeze, so 45 maybe, I don't know. But like I said, I'm not cold, and I'm not carrying a weapon either, so yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Talk to you later. I've been finding this grass here, and the tops of it are pretty dry, so I'm gonna use that to try to spark my fire. And you can take it and cutting it off, pulling it out, whatever works. But there's a lot of it out here, so see how that does. All right, folks, that bright yellow whitish stuff right there is my tinder. That'll what I'll be throwing my spark into in hopes that it catches fire, and when it does, there's my small stuff. Can't get any closer, sorry. Come over here, there's my bigger. Over to my biggest. That's a mistake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my gloves on, because I gotta grab this pile of crap over here and smash it and put it right on top of that when it lights, because there's not a lot of flame calories in this bundle of what's it. So let's do this. And if it don't work, then elephant rhino, right? I'm gonna put up my GoPro and see if I can get a little bit different view here. Good old wide angle GoPro catches all. See what we can see. Alright, here we go. I don't know what quite, I've never done this before, I've not used this method, but I think I do want to crunch this into somewhat of a bird's nest, so we're gonna mash it and fray it a little bit, at least so it holds somewhat of a shape. And use this big heavy piece of wood to hold it down. Now when that goes, I'll be able to break this up over here and put it on top. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna organize it into rows first. Just set it up the side here. And I think with the clouds the way it is, I'm not gonna have a lot of time if this doesn't work to gather more materials. Though I do think this will work. I don't know. Just one way to find out. Let's go ahead and throw some sparks at it and see what happens. Well, that didn't take a lot. Dang, that didn't take much at all. And you are a fire, boys, it burns. Just I hope it didn't take much at all. Well, there you go. That was surprisingly easy. Too easy. So what I'm gonna do now is just feed it some of these larger ones and let them start to digest that. And wait for us to have a bed of coals, huh? There we go. Fire. Really isn't hard to make. Just need to follow a few simple rules. It's actually 3 rules. Small, medium, large. There we go. Now you know everything. Above me is empty, except for the grayish clouds, so and I'm actually not even cold. This is well, pretty warm considering all things, but all things considered, I get my words mixed up a lot. Howdy. All right, so I'm gonna let this thing burn down in some coals, and then I'm gonna eat a good meal. I wish I'd brought my book. I was reading a book and I left it at home on my Kindle. Anyway, what are you gonna do? what you gonna do? This is getting too hot, so I'm gonna let that burn down and we'll see in a bit. Worst mallet ever. Yeah. Back to the drawing board on that one. Firewood. What I wanted. Need a plate. Kinda works. That works out alright, actually. I'm cutting it while it's still attached to the tree, so, or to the ground rather. And I'm decided about whether I want to fire tomorrow, so I'm shaping this here while it's on the tree. You can't even see that? I can't tell what you're seeing. It's so dark, I have to rely on my axe here, but as long as it's on the tree, I've got something to work with. If it's on the ground, well, I'm screwed. And I can chop this half off rather than chopping the whole again and working on that. Either way, as long as I cut free anything that was exposed to the outside, I'm good. Just pecking away the dark, cracky vein here. But really, I only need this part here for my stake. It's in the way. That's gross. You're gonna eat off of that? Yeah. Yeah, I am. Eating off of things you gather in the wild makes doing the dishes really easy. My jokes are legendary. Now I'm just kind of smoothing it out so I don't get any wood fibers in my food. And nobody liked that. I think that'll do. There's a cavity in here that I'm not liking the looks of it though. So as long as I cut above that, right here, I'm good. So if I cut here, that gives me that. saw resists my, or the wood resists my saw. It's so dense. Not as good leading with my right hand. I think next time I'm just gonna bring a paper plate. They're lighter and they also burn. You do not want your plate to hit the ground. There we go. Mostly clean. Whew. Let's go back and make a steak. All right, if you can't see this, go ahead and raise your hand. Nobody? Okay, good. We got everybody in attendance. For seasoning, we're going with the questionable Montreal steak spicy seasoning. I might be regretting this severely shortly. My diet today has been just so crappy that she smells spicy. All right, so yeah, my diet today's been pretty bad. I've had an energy drink, 2 energy drinks, beef jerky, a T-bone steak now. Well, not a T-bone, it's a, holy cow, it's warm, boys and girls, it is warm. It's a bone-in, holy cow, brain fart. What are you? It's a bone-in piece of cow. I will die if I cannot, I seriously, my brain won't let me go on until I remember the name of this blasted steak. Here, a ribeye. Blasted. It's a ribeye, so it's got the bone in it. It's got the bone in it. This is a ribeye steak. Beautiful, homegrown goodness. So we're gonna cook it, put it on here, remove the bone, so it should fit. So what we're doing essentially is I'm gonna do the prep right here. Get that stable. So yeah, prep it up right there and then into the coals. But I want you to look at those coals right here. There you go. It's going right on top. It should take minutes on each side. So when dealing with spicy seasoning, especially outdoors, it's best if you don't put your hands all over in them. Because if you put your hands in them, you're gonna be hating life. Is it bright enough to film without my light? It is. I love this lens. So that's going on there, and here goes. What I think I might actually do is I'm going to season one side, and then throw that side on the fire and season the other side. Ugh, that's the only thing I don't like about this. Is schmoo all over the fingers. But have a look at that steak. Ah, now the schmoo's on my lens. Yeah. All right. Well, I wipe my hands on my chair. How about that? It's gonna attract critters, whatever I do. So here we go. Don't touch it with your fingers. Not sure how spicy this is, so we're going spores on the seasonings. It's mostly clean. Come on, guys. All right. You're gonna want to see. You're gonna want to hear this sizzle. So let's head over to the fire. Now, just so I don't end up with a bunch of sticks on there, we're gonna move some things around, shall we? With another chunk of wood. Come on, chunks of wood, come to me. So, we're gonna give it a bed here. Onto that she goes, right there. It's gonna be hot, but here goes. 3, 2, 1. Well, that wasn't much of a sizzle. Spread some seasoning on this side. It's gonna take like minutes for that to cook, so it's gonna have a crust on it too, which is, oh, I can smell it already. Love it. And we're gonna attempt to eat it with a stick and a $10 Walmart knife. This should be an experience. Speaking of which, I need to find a stick. I'll do that while I let the steak rest. 'Cause you gotta let the steak rest, even if you cook it right like that. But you gotta come down here and look at this. Let me deprop you from the camera stand. Sorry for the noise. Oh dear. There we go. All right, here we go. Filming from behind, you see the lovely bone, which is sizzling profusely, even on the top. Along the edges here. Hard to do when I'm behind the camera, and it always planes. But it is cooking. You can see that right there. Quite quickly too. So I'm gonna have to flip this now. How do you flip a steak that's in a fire when you ain't got a fork? How do you think? You grab it with your hand. I might regret this, but I'm gonna use my glove. So you grab it with your glove, and you just want it over like that. Oh, she smells divine. If you like steak, this is steak. And these things brush right off. You needn't worry one bit. Germaphobes. There's no germs. These are completely sterile. Even if you get a little bit in your stomach, it's charcoal. What do they do when you get poisoned? Activated charcoal. Delish. And I don't mind filming every bit of this. If you're gonna enjoy a steak, this is really the way to do it. And because of how thick that bed of coals is, we got a couple inches on that bed of coals. That's cooking very quickly. I don't want to overdo it because it's a terrible waste, so I'm going to put you back up here. Hold on while I screw this mount in. I need to get a hot shoe, but my camera system probably weighs 12 or 13 pounds, and it does not appreciate a tripod at all. So I'm gonna take it, my block's over here, and make sure it's stable. You don't want to roll your steak. Take those off, flip it, shaky shaky, it's coming apart. Sorry you can't see this, it's hot burning flesh. Ouch. Alright, where you are, there she is, right there, right there. Flick the coals off, and I'll let it rest. Okay, so how do you make a fork while camping? If you get an aged branch, you're gonna want to do this with it. Get all the outer material off. You're gonna want something strong too. If it's too brittle like that, you might have picked the wrong one, like I have done here. But nevertheless, that's why we picked a thicker one. So what we're gonna do is take this Wally World knife, and we're gonna begin to shape a spoon. A fork. Carving off my foot a good ways because I'm an idiot, but I don't want to get the shavings in my steak over there. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see my steak right here. What the heck am I doing there? I'll shave it over on this side of me. And you just want to, when they're old like this, they're easy to crack off this outside, but the problem is also they're cracks, they're going to have things like this in them. Unless the wood you're cutting is poisonous or has insects or something weird that you don't want to get in your body in it, the fact that it has cracks through it isn't a problem. Can you see that? It's a bit light, but the fact that it has cracks in it, like I said, is not a problem. So, see, like I said in the review or unboxing of this video, I like to choke up on my knives. So we're just hacking away here, unless I use this as an axe. And now the reason I picked a curve stick is it's easier for me to wedge it into my other leg like this, and like this, and strike away from my body on the other side when I have to hack the tip down. and I gotta do the other way, I just grab it, put it against my body like that, and use my hand. That way I'm not cutting into my body, I'm cutting away from my body, and I'm not cutting at an odd angle like that and chopping up the guy camping next to me. So, there you go. A really simple and easy way to make a stick for poking and eating a steak. I'm just going to remove more material where this crack is. A moth coming to my camp light. Don't know, you can't even see him. You'll see him in a minute, I'm sure. Moths are drawn to flame and lights and whatnot. There he is. Really, bug? Really? I will cut you. I have a knife. Wish that wood over there would burn. Distract the moth, fire. Come on. Boogity boogity. I don't know what my hand gestures mean. When you get down to it, turn your knife at an angle so you're giving it a slicing motion like this. That will prevent you from creating chips. Especially if the wood is brittle like this is. But this inner wood is very tough. I'm favoring the side that has the crack in it to maybe eliminate it in case there is something I need to be aware of, but there's a knot in it right here, which is making carving it quite difficult. Ah, I forgot I was gonna strike the ferro rod with this gimmicky knife, which is so far holding up pretty good. This thing I still hate, this grippy bit there. Maybe it's cheap and that part will wear off and I can wrap the handle or something. So I think I'd rather have a paracord wrap on this than have that stabbing me in the hand. Alright, that's good enough. Steak is ready to eat, so it might still be too hot to touch, but it's okay. Now, this knife has got dust all over it. That's fine. Just gonna wipe it off on my good dirty pants here. Nothing but good clean bear pee on those branches, so this is me steak. Oh yeah. Look at that meat. Be jealous of not only my elite steak, but my extraordinary shaking. So that's the problem with cooking a bone-in steak. You get one side over here that's too rare. Come over here, which is well done. Ugh. Sorry, steak. I didn't mean to well done ya. So that's what I mean. Bit well done. Hard to see that, isn't it? Anyway. Good flavor. Whoo, and she's spicy. Alright, I'm gonna eat down this steak, and ain't nobody want to see nobody else eat, so have some fire. And I shall speck with you soon. Bye. Alright, I literally just finished my steak and I was a second too soon because it's raining. I'm feeling raindrops on me right now, so poo. Sorry. Depending on how it goes, I might stay out here by the fire. I might go sit underneath my bedding, but I don't want to get wet. I made my steak though. It was spicy but delicious, so we got a fire going, and now we got rain. What can you do? What can you do? Cursed moths are everywhere right now, so. Alright, well, it did start to rain, but now it's stopped, so I'm just gonna hang out in bed and read. Gotta pee, of course, after I take my shoes off. I don't know what to say. My socks are right here. Took my belt off, it's over there. Yeah, gonna wash off my hands and take my contacts out, but we're gonna call it good night, so I'll wake you up with any critical updates. Have a good one. Alright, I had to wake everybody up. Sorry, I had to wake everyone up. Well, it's only not very long ago, right? Major important update. I killed that moth. Now, good night. And so it begins. Got an owl out there. That's cool. Good morning. I really do suppose I should get up. Finally. The wind has been whipping through here like crazy all night long. It's been a rough one. Positioned my feet this way so that I could look out and see when the sun came up. It's just now coming up over the mountains out there. About 7 a.m., maybe just after. Anyway, the wind blowing the way it has been, I don't know about starting a fire though. I might end up just blowing hot coals all over the desert. God, this is like riding a trampoline to sleep. Crazy. That was a rough one. I think I only got, 2-3 hours of actual good rest. I don't think more than that. Like, right now it's not bad. I don't know if you can hear in the distance though. The wind will come down that far hill. just crash into us like waves, and this tarp will lift up and slam down, and that'll wake me up, or my underquilt will blow, and then it's cold and miserable and from then on out. So yeah, that's anyway, like, I'm getting hungry, so it's time to get out of my cocoon and get cold. Yay! At least it's not raining anymore. So the Camillus company, at least their Facebook account, messaged me back, and they said, as a company we are able to leverage multiple brands outside of Camillus to get higher end steel at lower costs. Our parent company, Acme United Corp., which owns Westcott, Kloss, and Cuda, so you can hopefully understand that we are experts at both sourcing and producing sharpened edge steels. We utilize titanium bondings across these stupid cold wind across these products. Can you confirm which knife I had? So I sent them a picture and the description of it. So that was about 40 minutes ago. We'll see if it takes them a couple days to respond, but they said they can get me can confirm with them what they got, and they'll give me the hardness on it. So we'll see. I've been giving it its pace putting it through its paces, and it seems to have held its edge pretty good. So I'm mostly impressed, though. I can't imagine that the spine of the knife is hardened at the same time as the edge. I don't know if that tire blade is hardened or what, because yeah, I can certainly feel some nicks in there where I landed on my fire steel. Anyway, we'll see. That's what I'm using to start the fire again this morning. If the wind doesn't burn the desert down first. Wind? No. The fire with the wind doesn't burn the desert down. Alright, I know you probably wanted old Iron Chef Pearson here to go start a fire and cook up some breakfast out there, but I'm gonna stay underneath my tarp. The clouds are rolling in real quick. They're getting darker and darker. I've lost sight of the sun, the horizon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leverage a few things in here, including my tarp and bedding here, food bag and whatnot, to just use my alcohol stove to boil the egg I brought, and just have me a good old-fashioned hard-boiled egg. They're done wrapped up here in a paper towel. They fit really well inside an alcohol stove. There we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna stabilize this thing and plop that on there like that, put some water in there, and have a hard-boiled egg. So they get the chicken roasting material off there. And yeah, I think that'll do. I don't want to risk creating a huge mess of a disaster. Stick that inside my food bag, and yeah, not as glamorous, but you gotta make do with what you can do. So let's do this. This is fairly level. It's gonna burn some of this grass down, but I'm not going anywhere, so it shouldn't do anything else. With as much shakiness, fill it up, because it's gonna have to boil for a minute. I'm gonna do a good amount because it's got to burn long enough to hard to boil an egg, which is about a 10-minute boil, give or take. And then I go find my fire starter. Alright, provided situations remain optimal, I did bring a freeze-dried meal. Push comes to shove, I'll eat that. This is just to get me going, because like I said, I'm cold, and it's the kind of cold that's inside, not outside, because I'm bundled up in a puffy jacket. But anyway, that lights so well. Egg goes in the carton. Should have done this first. Come on. Water on the egg. I guess I don't need that much, but we got that much. Put that over here. We do have some wind control it appears. Just stick this on top, put the lid on, and it feels pretty stable. So I don't want to leave it, but I don't want to sit here and watch it the whole time either. Conundrum. I'm gonna have to sit here and watch it the whole time, aren't I? Oh well, what can you do? So I got leather gloves and lots of water. Drink half a gallon of water already. No wonder I got up 14 times to pee all night. Trying to decide on what I want to do after this is done cooking. If I'm still feeling hungry, I think I'll just boil up some water and make that freeze-dried meal. If not, I mean, shooting a bow in this wind is silly. Maybe we'll just go for a quick walkabout and see what we can find out there. There's a lot of hunters though, so I expect that game will be pretty scarce. Anyway, just some thoughts. We'll see. I'd like to go look around though. Step away for a minute, the wind ripped my home apart. Lost this corner up here. Oh well. It weren't permanent. Wasn't permanent. Breakfast should be done now. I'll water the plants here. And I'll water the dead ground. Still warm. Just fine. Bon appetit, huh? Alright, so now that the house is wrecked, I got no rain protection, so I'm going to quickly pack everything up. I don't see that there's going to be a whole lot more to do in this video, so I wanted to have my brother-in-law in it, but he's torqued his truck somehow and is underneath it trying to fix things, so and he didn't show up till midnight anywho, so it's all good. We'll do it again. I've got a long ways to go on YouTube, so anyway, so what I'm gonna do is just pack up camp and might just hit the road. I don't know. We're supposed to get some serious rain this afternoon, but we were supposed to last night, so who knows what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's unless something happens, that's all she wrote. I'm gonna go ahead and pack everything up just so that my quilts don't get wet, and see you on the next one. Go ahead and hit the sub button if you like, and give me some ideas what you want to see. Later.